Welcome to your friendly neighborhood historian, where we discuss just enough history to inform, intrigue, and entertain. I'm Bill Petro. The history of Mardi Gras. Why is it called Fat Tuesday? In French, Mardi Gras means Fat Tuesday. It is celebrated the day after Shrove Monday and the day before Ash Wednesday as a last fling before the 40 days of self-denial of Lent, which precede Easter. Lent is a word that comes from the Middle English, which means springtime, so named for the season of the year in which it usually occurs. While the practice of fasting from certain foods during Lent is not mentioned in the Bible, it has been a tradition in the Christian world since the mid-4th century and is a period during the liturgical calendar. It seems to parallel the 40 days of fasting in the wilderness that Jesus experienced following his baptism at the Jordan River. Historically, Lenten fasting became mandatory, especially abstinence from eating meat. The First Council of Nicaea in 325 AD spoke of fasting for 40 days before Easter. It was recommended by St. Athanasius, Bishop of Alexandria, in his Festal Letter 3 to his flock in Egypt in 331 AD. By the Middle Ages, Lent was enforced throughout Europe, especially the forbidding of meat during the last weeks before Easter. In the early 7th century, Pope Gregory the Great declared fasting should begin on Ash Wednesday. Mardi Gras and Carnival. What's the connection? The word carnival comes from an old Italian word that means go without meat or removal of meat. The Latin for that is carne levare. Festivals like Mardi Gras sprang up throughout Europe to prepare for the coming times of self-denial. Because livestock in Europe were typically slaughtered in November, meat would not be preservable. The remaining winter stores of lard, butter, and meat would be eaten, for these would otherwise soon start to spoil. Carnival is a 6-week celebration between Epiphany in the liturgical calendar and Lent in various parts of the world. For example, Venice was predominantly a party town for centuries with its Carnevali di Venezia and its elaborate masks, still available in shops today. In England, the Tuesday immediately before Ash Wednesday is called Shrove Tuesday, following Shrove Monday, and is celebrated by eating rich food that won't be consumed during Lent. In the British Isles and former countries of the British Commonwealth, Mardi Gras is called Pancake Tuesday, a popular way of celebrating the day and eliminating rich foodstuffs from the pantry before Lent. Brazil is renowned for its Sambadrome Carnival Parade. In Rio de Janeiro, the second most populous city in Brazil, after Sao Paulo, and the 6th most populous city in all of the Americas, they host the largest carnival celebration in the world, with 30,000 annual participants, and for the parade, 90,000 nightly ticketed spectators. The parade started this year on February 28th, and the Samba competition's Champions Parade will begin on March 8th. New Orleans in the U.S. has the best-known Mardi Gras parades, featuring colorful floats and masked riders, attracting over 1 million visitors yearly and bringing in $1 billion in revenue. Known for its Mardi Gras beads, as recently as 2018, the city discovered over 46 tons of discarded beads in storm drains along the 5-block parade route. What about meat after Mardi Gras? As the Protestant Reformation spread throughout Europe, Lent became regarded more as a Roman Catholic institution. Protestants largely ignored it as a traditional observance from the early 16th century onward. This was precipitated by the famous Affair of the Sausages. Ulrich Zwingli, the Protestant pastor of the Grossmünster Church in Zurich, spoke in favor of eating sausage during Lent in defense of a dinner he had at the home of his friend, the local printer, in March of 1522. Though Zwingli himself did not enjoy sausages, he argued that Lenten meat fasting should be voluntary rather than mandatory, as it was not expressly forbidden in the Bible. This reluctance by Protestants to observe Lent did not reverse, especially in the U.S., until the 1980s. Today, more Protestant churches participate in Lent with devotions, scripture readings, and annual Ash Wednesday services. But what about chocolate? Forget about meat. What about chocolate? Could it be consumed during Lent? Yes, if you drank it. When chocolate first came to Europe from the New World, it was consumed as a drink, as I describe in my article on the history of chocolate. By the 1600s, the aristocracy was drinking chocolate in church, with the justification that chocolate prevented fainting and fatigue during the long celebrations of Mass, because it had medicinal properties. This was debated between the Dominicans and the Jesuits for a century in the Church. Pope Pius V was offered a cup of hot chocolate in 1569 and pronounced that it was so foul that he decided there was no need to ban it. However, finally in 1662, Pope Alexander VII adjudicated the debate with a single sentence: Liquidum non frangit jejunum. Liquids do not break the fast. What are the customs that you observe on Mardi Gras? Thank you for listening. I'm Bill Petro, your friendly neighborhood historian. You can find more details on this topic and others on my website at billpetro.com.